don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. This is the 463rd episode, show, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what this is anymore. It's not a podcast. It's this. It's the political spotlight. We are what we are. I was going to say the Popeye thing, but that's the updated version. Okay, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Christopher H. Bilbrey. The name of this show, this specific episode, is Appointment Withdrawn and Death Penalty Questioned. So, here, I'm trying to get something going here real quick. Okay. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, shoo-wee. Thank God, it's just me and you and producer Kate. She's back, ladies and gentlemen, back in black and flannel, and she's here. She just popped that thing up on screen. Give us a like for producer Kate if you like producer Kate. If you're thrilled that Catherine Callahan is not here, give us a like. Hey, 3 shows in a row with Catherine. Somebody ought to give me an award. I feel like I have been through something. You know, here, Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's comparing J.D. Prescott to D-Day soldiers. I've had to deal with Catherine for the last 3 days. Like, I need to be compared to something. So welcome. If you want to follow us and hear all of the great things I have to say throughout the day, there are our links, and you can follow us there. You can get our phone number. You can do what you want to do and see what you want to see. So that'll be fantastic. We have a big show. And let me tell you, at about 1:30 today, 2 p.m., I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on, a lot of stuff that has been like deep hold work, like stuff that's like deep in the back of my brain, but I'm still working on it. Things that have happened currently that I'm working on. But even though we got all that going on, I still didn't really have a show as of about 1:30 today. And then the City of Muncie issued a records request, or I don't know why I keep saying that. My brain is at capacity. I need to take some stuff out because I feel maybe I need to start taking some of that prednigen or whatever for memory or whatever. Something needs to give. City issued a press release today at about 2:30, and then just like boom bang pow, I've got a topic. And then the governor of the state of Indiana started saying some dumb crap. And I thought, well, I probably should talk about that stuff too. So we've got a pretty good show for you tonight. If you have not shared this show, I would highly recommend you doing so. There's literally no reason for you to not share the show. I think that it would be beneficial for you. Be beneficial for all of us if you did. It would really be good for me. Be good for all of you too. And it would be good for the people that you shared the show to. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. Let me see. Yeah, I'm just sharing a couple of things here that I was so ready for this that I had stuff ready. I don't even have to have producer Kate put the inlays up. I had everything ready, and I was just able, just boom, bang, pow, right like that, to put up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different inlays right there, which was pretty crazy. Jackie says, Callahan's pretty intense, but committed to meaningful causes. Yeah, yes. It's like trying to figure out what it's like. It's like cyanide. A lot can kill you, and a little bit can kill you. No, we love Catherine. Matter of fact, Catherine and I and some other super people that we don't want to give all of our secrets away, are taking a trip. Not tomorrow, but on Friday. Catherine and I are going on a special assignment along with a couple of extra people, but I don't want to give too much away. You'll know. We might have to do a show. We'll probably have to do a show on Saturday because we will have information. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, we'll do a show on Saturday, a special show on Saturday. However, if you want to know what's up, I can't tell you about it now because if we talk about it too much, there could be interference, and I don't want any interference ran. So I can only tell it to you like this. The Political Spotlight crew, we're going on a little trip on Friday, and I can't tell you much about it. We're going to talk about it on Saturday, but if you want to know before the show on Saturday, then you will want to connect with me on social media. On social media, on all of these different on different platforms here, all of this stuff here. You'll want to do that. Facebook, sorry about that. The two Facebook, the Political Spotlight, facebook.com/political spotlight, the Political Spotlight 318, or facebook.com/Bilbrey 318, or check x.com Bilbrey Live. One of those three things, or all of them, and you will have some information in real time about what's going on, and it would be very well worth your benefit of following. Saturday's show are going to be it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. And I can tell you that if people ahead of time, I'm not going to say anymore because I don't want to give, we can't give anything away because we don't want to hinder our ability. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Alva's going to be with us. Yes, Alva's going to be with us. It's going to be wild. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be like the Asian and Cajun persuasion and white boy Bilbrey and some others. Alva will be with us in spirit. Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be amazing. You will want to tune into Saturday's show because we're gonna have a lot of information. The other thing that I can tell you that I would consider this probably breaking news for a lot of you. Some of you from the Madison County area is going to know about this already, but I can tell you that not tonight. Yes, we definitely need our walking shoes. I guess I don't know. Yeah, right, Kate. Not next Wednesday, but 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks. Wait. We've got so much going on. I can't even comprehend all of this. Yeah. So 2 weeks from today, I will be in Memorial Park. I can tell you this. Memorial Park in Newcastle for a third house, which is a legislative update. And the speakers will be the absolutely, totally illustrious State Representative of District 54, Corey Criswell. Diego's Tiptoe Diego. He stands like he's on his tiptoes. Corey Criswell, lovely guy, nice guy. He stands like he's got a stick up his ass. Diego won't be there, but Criswell will. State representative from District 33, because he has one township in Henry County, J.D. Prescott. And state senator from District 27, Jeff Rotz. They will be there. I cannot even begin to imagine a more shit sandwich than Criswell, Rotz, Prescott. Like, ooh, man. Woo! So that is 2 weeks from tonight on Wednesday, June 18th. Then, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday, the 18th. No, wait a minute. What am I saying? Wednesday's the 18th. On Thursday, the 19th. So 2 weeks and 1 day from today, I will be in Madison County at the Tea Party event where Governor Braun will be there. I cannot wait because what we're going to talk about tonight leaves me with so many questions that I want to ask his royal anus or highness or whatever he is. One of them, the governor. I want to ask him about what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we've got a special surprise this Friday that we're going to talk about on Saturday. Then on Wednesday, the 18th, we've got a J.D. Prescott, Corey Criswell, Jeff Rotz surprise that we're going to do, a visit. It's going to be wonderful. And then on Thursday, the 19th, there's going to be the Tea Party with Governor Braun. And so it's going to be, woo! It's going to be a big deal. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, but they're running with it and they're saying he's going to be here, he's going to be there, he's going to be there. So I'll believe it when I see it. But at least as of right now, they are saying he's going to be there. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't really trust the guy as far as I can throw him. But that's the big breaking news as far as the events that are coming down the pipe for us here. Yeah, that's what we've got going on. So some pretty big things coming up in the next couple of weeks, with Friday kicking off kind of the craziness. So that'll be that. Besides that, there's no board of works to talk about from today. I started to write that into the description. For those of you that like the descriptions, I put the description back. The description for tonight, I used to read these, but I kind of got away from doing it because I thought, why do I need to read it? We're going to do it. So the description says, well, as of Wednesday, June 4th, 2025, the City of Muncie withdrew the appointment of Wesley B. Miller, who served as EMS Chief with the Muncie Fire Department. That guy that just got on paid leave just 7 days ago. This decision came only 7 days after the political spotlight broke the news of Miller's arrest for residential entry and domestic battery. And here they were all saying, like, he's going to stay in the game. He's going to fight it. He's going to win. He's going to come out victorious. I knew that wasn't going to happen. A press release was issued around 2:30 p.m. today. And while they hoped this would silence any further inquiries, for me, it only raised many, many more. From there, I will dive into the Indiana Governor Mike Braun's latest blunder. I consider it a blunder. This is his self-imposed moratorium on the death penalty here in the state of Indiana. Like, why? It's been going so well. We killed 2 people in the last couple of weeks or days or months. It's like great, fantastic. We've still got like 6 more to send on through to the other side. And he's like, no, we want to take a break. We've killed 2. We've killed 2 in 15 years. Let's take another 15 years off. I'm telling you, I am convinced that if somebody would reach up and pull his face off, he would be some kind of not a Republican. I'll just tell you that much right now. But this is who he's always been. It's what he's always been. So these are his friends. These people are probably some of his favorite people of all time right now. They love him because they're currently awaiting the death penalty. There are also 3 other people currently waiting for. These guys have already been convicted. They have been found guilty. They have already ran out their appeals, and they're literally just waiting on the Grim Reaper. There are 3 other people who are currently awaiting trial. So we're going to talk about that and listen to everything that's going on there. So that's what we're going to talk about and see what goes on. I just text a pretty important source. Let me check this really quick. Let's see here. Give me 1 second here. I need to send this back to we've been doing some work and preparing for the show. I do not. Okay. Yeah, that sets me up for what I'm going to talk about. All right. So, here's the deal. First up, we're going to talk about this appointment withdrawn. Appointment withdrawn. City of Muncie lets EMS Chief Wesley Miller go. Okay, they let him go today. They didn't say let him go. They said we have. Ridenauer calls up Mr. Miller, I would assume, by phone and says, I have a prepared statement to read. Everyone's like, oh, it was so prepared, and you could tell by the way he talked. No, that's just the way Ridenauer talks. He never really ever talks like a human being. He always talks like he's reading a prepared statement. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's not a big deal. It's just, that's how he is. So Wesley Miller, the EMS chief from the fire department. Now, a lot of people did not know this, so I want to tell everybody this. Mr. Miller, who is a paramedic, he's the most advanced level, apparently, of paramedic that you could be. There's like EMT, EMS, then there's an advanced, and then there's an actual paramedic. A paramedic is, see, I never knew this. That was not my bag. I never knew a difference between EMT, EMS, paramedic, all that shit. It all sounds the same to me. So you have EMS, and then you have advanced, and then you have paramedic. And so that's what the deal is with that there. So when the Muncie Fire Department started their EMS program, which would have been and it was a very hot and contentious topic when they did, because there's a lot of money to be made in the EMS world. So there's a lot of money to be made. Kate says, because he's always reading a prepared statement. Complete with stage instructions. Cry here, shake head here, wave hand here. Yes, absolutely. Well, when the Muncie Fire Department built their EMS program, the Muncie Fire Department has approximately 105 to 115 people, let's say. 105 to 115, give or take. I might be a little wrong here or there. And in the past, that's always been firemen. They have always been merit firemen. Well, when the EMS thing started, not all firemen were EMS. Okay. They were first responders, but they weren't all EMS. So they brought in civilians, and now the Muncie Fire Department has a mixture of merit firemen and non-merit civilian EMS personnel. Well, when Rachel Clark was brought in to be the EMS chief, and she's the one that built the program from the ground up, she was made the EMS chief. And now I look at that as technically being third in line at the fire department, but she's like, the chief is over the EMS people. Okay. They are not, she wasn't over firemen per se. Now, when firemen would be running the rigs, she would be over. Now, that being said, the EMS chief cannot hire or fire. They can have input, and there's some little discipline that can happen there towards the civilian side, but they have to fire everything up the chain to the chief and the deputy chief. Okay. So when everything happened with Rachel, Ridenauer brought in Wesley Clark. Now, when Rachel was appointed, the mayor didn't appoint the person. The fire chief brought them in. Now they're calling this a mayoral appointment. Now, I need to look into this because the EMS chief wasn't a mayoral appointment. They don't have insurance. They're not part of the union. Okay. So we got to kind of look and see what's going on there. But Wes was put in, and a lot of people said he's not the right candidate, whatever. I will tell you this. The current chief of the Muncie Fire Department, even before he was chief, he has made it very clear that he wants a firefighter, a merit position firefighter, to be the chief of EMS. He's been very clear about that. A lot of people know this. I have been hearing that he wants a specific person in place, even back before all of the Wesley Miller stuff. I'm going to tell you, Wesley Miller's been through the ringer because under the former chief, before Burford, when it was Rob Mead calls this Wesley Miller in and says, hey, yo, you either work for us or you talk to Captain Troy Delaney. If you talk to Captain Troy Delaney, you don't work for us. And everybody knew that conversation happened. The fire department, here's what everybody is lost on. I'm not harping on these people's private lives because I care about court reporting or reporting on crime or whatever. I have no interest in doing that. Okay. I live that life. I have no interest in talking about that and being in that world. I'm not a true crime podcaster. I'm not a crime reporter. I'm not even a journalist in that aspect. I'm a political commentator, period. The reason I'm talking about these flubs is because it points back to a failed leadership within the fire department. Okay. Period. It points back to failed leadership from Mayor Ridenour, the Muncie fire chief, the deputy fire chief, and down the line. Period. So Miller was initially appointed and has, after Rachel exited stage left. And then today, they announce this. For immediate release, City of Muncie announces withdrawal of EMS Chief appointment. Just listen to this and tell me if this doesn't just sound like complete legalese. The City of Muncie announces that effective immediately, the appointment of Wesley Miller as Chief of Emergency Medical Services has been withdrawn. This decision has been made in the best interest of the department and the community it serves. We recognize the importance of maintaining the highest standard of leadership and accountability within our public safety departments, said Mayor Dan Ridenour. This decision was not made lightly, and we are committed to ensuring continuity of services and the well-being of our employees and community during this transitional period. The administration is currently assessing options for interim leadership to ensure that EMS operations continue seamlessly. Further updates regarding EMS department leadership will be available when that information comes to pass. Well, number one, Burford's wanted rid of him for as long as he's been chief. Burford wants to put in his main man, Mr. Firefighter Adam James. the problem is Adam James has only been a paramedic for like 2 years. None of the people on the fire department are going to be in a position where they should be in a position leading EMS personnel, specifically the civilian side. He might be a wonderful EMS technician. He might be a wonderful paramedic. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he's a paramedic. I think he's a paramedic now. But he's only been in that position for a very short period of time. Not the amount of time that it would take. Rachel Clark said that it was her, that she was a civilian EMS chief. It was even her wish that a Muncie fireman would eventually take over that position, and that all firemen, all 110 firemen, would be cross-trained in the EMS services. And that would be great. It's going to take time to do that. But she said that she thought that it would take about 10 years to make them have the ability where they could be in a position to be the leadership, you know, to know what they've got to do with the narcotics, to know how they've got to make sure that controls are put in place, to make sure that they know how to handle the mental health aspect of these people, seeing people dying day in and day out, and car wrecks, and just all of the things on top of the leadership and the professionalism, you know, so we don't have a bunch of younger kids out here getting drunk and sleeping with this buddy's wife and that buddy's wife and hooking up with this person and this nurse and this EMS person and kicking doors in and fighting and punching and screaming and choking and strangling. You know, that's a problem. You know what I mean? So I don't have an issue with Adam James. I don't know him. I have no issue with him. Probably a good guy. Probably a great fireman. Probably a great EMS personnel. I will be absolutely shocked if he is not the next EMS chief. Now, they might in the interim put somebody else in there so Bilbrey's not right. But I believe that once they name the next full-time Muncie EMS chief, it will be Adam James. Period. That's my belief. If I'm wrong, and if they name somebody else, just completely somebody else, I'll come back and say, hey, sorry, I got this wrong. But they named somebody just so I wouldn't be right. Wink, wink. That's what I'll do. That's what I will do. There we go. I hate that thing that does that. It used to not do that. I don't understand. I wish I could call somebody at StreamYard. Maybe I'll look into doing that tomorrow. So this is a weird thing here. Now, listen, again, something is going to have to give at the fire department. Something is really going to have to give. The police department went through several years of total insanity. The feds were investigating them. Officers were arrested. They were formally charged. Several of them went to prison, went to federal prison, rightfully so. And the police department kind of then cleaned its act up. And they haven't had a real bad run here lately. But the fire department is now in the position where the fire department is having an issue. Now, I also want to talk about something that a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, you're in trouble. I'd get the hell out of there as safely, as smoothly. Don't run any. I'd get out of your vehicle, check it, make sure all your lights work. Don't speed. Use your turn signals. don't do any California rolls and get the hell out of Dodge. If I'm not mistaken, they have to be on the department for at least 5 years before they can be appointed chief per Indiana code. Well, but listen, not if we're talking about the civilian side. See, keep in mind, Bradley, that the chief of the Muncie Fire Department is a civilian person. So their whole deal's different. I don't know what that makes the difference. But I want to read you some information here. And now understand that these numbers are not 100% right. I could call dispatch and get identical exact numbers for like last year. But just in the last couple of years, this is just an approximation, just so we have an understanding. Muncie Fire Department has roughly between 105 and 115 full-time merit firefighters. There are then approximately between 10 and 18 civilian EMS personnel. So if we mix all of this together, we'll just call it 110 firemen and we'll call it 12 EMS. So that's 122 total people on the Muncie Fire Department / EMS program. The Muncie Fire Department / EMS receive approximately 18,000 calls a year. Of those 18,000 calls, 15,000 of them are EMS related calls. That means 5,000 of them are like non-EMS related fire department calls. The fire department has a fire chief, a deputy chief, 3 battalion chiefs that are actually out on the floor, 1 administrative battalion chief, 6 north and south captains. Then each shift, there are 3 turns on the fire department, which a turn is a 24-hour shift, 7 to 7, has lieutenant and sergeants at all stations. They have all of this really heavy administrative chain of command that's very helpful to the chief to lead the department, run the department. The EMS chief, who oversees between 10 and like 18, we'll call them full-time civilian firemen, civilian EMS personnel. And they're responsible for approximately 15,000 calls. Now, the firemen do assist, but they only have 1 chief to deal with all of the good, bad, and the ugly of the EMS personnel. There's not a deputy chief. They don't even give them a captain or lieutenant. There's no second in command. It'd be great to take these services from the government, but then what you've got to do is you have to have the volunteer folks to do it. Here's the issue, though, with what you're saying there, Jack, because a good majority of the United States is protected by volunteer fire department. The majority of the people in the United States are protected. The majority of the people in the United States, if they call because there's a car wreck out front, because their house is on fire, because there's a medical event, they're going to get a volunteer or a part-time service. But even those volunteer and part-time services are connected to the government. They're being taken care of through township versions of the government. And I mean, the problem is, you take it away from the government, which I'd be fine doing. I hate, whatever. Let's make the government as small as possible. But you actually have the people that have to step up and do it. There's a lot of issues with that. And to Cindy's point, a lot of those volunteer fire departments are having a hard time funding themselves. And so that's a problem. Nobody wants to volunteer anymore. That's very, 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 very true. So Indiana is also trying to get rid of fire territories and townships that funded those volunteer departments. I could see doing away with the townships. I don't know. I'm twisted. I could have lots of different conversations about that. Anyways, this deal with the Muncie Fire Department, EMS, they're gonna have to get their shit together. The thing that really bums me out about all of this is the EMS program, the rank and file people on the civilian side of the EMS program and the firemen that are doing the job are doing a good job. They're saving lives. They're doing a hell of a good job. And you've now got those people out there because of these people saying, oh, look, see, we told you this fire EMS program was going to suck. Look, we need to put it back and have Delaware County. Delaware County EMS is still out there, folks. They're just not good like they used to be. The program's not like it was in the late 90s or the mid 2000s, the early 2000s. It's not like that anymore. That's the issue. Skylar Miller says they're folding up because there are chiefs out there like Doug Firestone taking all the money. And that is very true. Of course, if you all remember back, we broke that story here some long time ago about Doug Miller and his wife, Chief, and the wife of the chief doing a real big crazy ass thing with the Hamilton Township Volunteer Fire Department, robbing them blind and taking, it was sickening what they did. It was just sickening what they did. So we're obviously going to follow what's going on with this. I just think it's interesting. I mean, so much for due process. And again, I'm not saying that I'm a fan or not a fan of Wes Miller either way. Don't know him, don't care one way or another. But this is interesting. Are they starting a precedent? Is this how we're going to handle all people now that get in trouble? We're going to handle police like this? We need to. Are we going to handle the firemen like this? We need to. Or are we not going to do that because they've got the unions to back them? Why are, it's so crazy. It's so crazy that you can have these men and women doing the same jobs for the same entity, and they can be treated totally different in the same situations. That's a pretty wild thing. That's the thing, though. When you are appointed and not protected by the union, there is no due process. That is true. that's the thing. Well, and I need to find out about this because I think they're shifting this around. It's real weird how they're doing this because, again, Muncie Fire Department, in their time of being an EMS department, they've only had 2 EMS chiefs. And the first EMS chief they had was not appointed by the mayor and was not a mayoral appointment. That EMS chief then was bye-bye. Did some real crazy shit with. And then Wes Miller was brought in. And now this one, they're saying this one was appointed by the mayor. Was that ever taken before the city council? Was this ever discussed? I'm confused. Wes Miller or Rachel Clark, either one, was not a department head. You know, the mayor appoints department heads: the police chief, the fire chief, the HR department director, the communications director. But Wes Miller wasn't any of that. Wes Miller didn't have higher fire capability. Really didn't have disciplinary capability, honestly. But yeah, the merit board has no say. The merit board is not involved with this at all. Correct. That's correct. But my whole aspect of it, my whole question is, what is going on with the mayor? They just play willy-nilly with what they do over there. And remember, this all comes back to Ridenhour's points, his 6 points that he ran on: improving communication, improving transparency, improving accountability, slowing government down, improving relationships between the city and the county, and number 6, putting the best people in place. And here we are. Miller was appointed by former chief. Yes. Yeah, Jason White, that's exactly correct. So the fact that they are now saying that this is a mayoral appointment is not correct. Not a mayoral appointment. And the thing I hate about this is, are they putting themselves in a position where they're now going to get sued because they're mishandling this? They're handling this like a bunch of jokers. Now the city of Muncie is going to have to pay out money to attorneys to defend a lawsuit from this guy and all that crap. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. How does he define best? Well, we are taking a look at it. You're seeing it right here play out in front of our very own eyes. If this is the best, then shoo-wee, what do we have going on? Very, very, very questionable. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that now takes us up to the second topic. That is Indiana Governor Mike Braun's question. Mike Braun questions the state's death penalty. Interesting. Stand back. We'll get to this in 1 second. I'll get to that in 1 second. I want to answer this Skylar thing. This is a pretty interesting question. Can they promote or appoint a merit firefighter to a civilian position? Does he lose the merit status? Well, I can tell you, I don't know how they're going to answer that, but I can tell you from everything that I've heard, the hope, the dream is that they can eventually have firefighters that would be able to be the EMS chief, and no, they would not be losing their merit status. They would be a merit firefighter who also happens to be the EMS chief. The hope is, I mean, listen, wouldn't the hope be eventually if we have 110 Muncie firemen on the roster, that all 110 would be trained in some form of EMS training? I mean, that would be the hope. My hope, I guess, would be if that's what they're going to do. You know, or they need, or they need to say, nope, we're going to stick with the civilians and we're going to do it. But what they should not do is do this back and forth weird shit where it's like, well, we want to do this, or, you know, we need to have real defined rules of how all this stuff works. You know what I mean? I don't believe we have any civilians on Anderson Fire. Yeah. So there are no civilians on the fire department, but there are civilians. There are civilians. That's so weird. Sorry, I'm watching someone literally comment on last night's show, when it's like, you could just not be there and you could be watching this live, but and this guy keeps saying like, man, I want to catch it live. But like, I think all week while we've been doing the live show, he's been one show behind. Weird. Anyways, whatever. No, so we have 110 Muncie firefighters, merit firefighters, and then we have like 10 to 12, 18, some civilians doing EMS as a side unit of the fire department. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The other thing is, it'd be interesting to know, was Wes ever written up? Did he have any kind of issues? You know, had they ever had an issue with him before? I'm hearing other people saying, well, this was coming, you know, which I believe that too, because I know that Burford wants to have a firefighter in the EMS chief position. So I'm going to be looking into how they're going to try to structure this, what they're going to do, what they can do, what they should and shouldn't do versus what they actually have done. Which it's going to be interesting, because I know they're saying like, we're not going to answer any more questions till things come up. It's like, okay, that's, you know, whatever. So that's that. All right. Now on to the big state topic. Indiana Governor Mike Braun questions the state's death penalty. Oh, and Catherine got into the comments just in time, as we will be talking about Noah Chavez, because his killer is one of the men. So there are currently 6 people that have already been convicted and are awaiting death penalty. And then we have 3 other people that are currently awaiting trial for that. So his killer being one of those. So I want to let you hear this. I want to let you hear this article, this little bit here that WTHR did earlier today.
State executions are once again on hold in Indiana.
That's because the governor says the state has now used up its supply of lethal injection drugs, and he says he doesn't plan to buy more for now. So Rich Nye joins us live in studio. He has been reporting on the death penalty in Indiana for several years now, and he joins us with what this means for the men now who are on death row here in the state of Indiana.
So this week, the governor gave us a few more details about the 2 lethal injection executions that have been carried out here in Indiana the past 6 months. And the governor appears now to have started a new moratorium on the death penalty, and he wants to reopen the debate. For 15 years, death row at the Indiana State Prison in Michigan City was just an indefinite holding cell. Then last year, the state said it acquired the drug pentobarbital and would resume executions. Joseph Corcoran died by lethal injection in December, followed by Benjamin Ritchie last month. Governor Mike Braun revealed this week that Indiana apparently bought 3 doses of the lethal drug at $300,000 each. Braun said the drug has a 90-day shelf life and 1 dose has now expired. He says he's not buying more for now.
The whole question of capital punishment, I think there's going to be a lot of discussion on it. There are legislators that wonder if it's still relevant. I'm going to listen to them, the courts, and the broader discussion in general, and that'll be happening across the country.
So with 6 men still sitting on death row, Indiana appears to have started a new capital punishment moratorium.
If there was any question about whether or not the state should be carrying out executions in the last 6 months, I think that all questions have been resolved, and the answer is resounding no. We can't do this. We don't even have the basic information of what's being done.
There are 3 men facing pending death penalty cases in central Indiana. Delaware County Prosecutor Eric Hoffman sent 13 News a statement that reads in part, "Under no set of circumstances should the death penalty be abolished in Indiana. Prosecutors must have the discretion to request a death sentence when the facts and circumstances warrant it. Lethal injection, firing squad, gas chamber, whatever, it doesn't matter to me, but we must have at least one option." And right now, the only legal method of execution in Indiana is lethal injection. But other states have used the firing squad and nitrogen gas.
Wish TV is always such a really shitty. Like, I don't understand what the deal is. Like their shit just doesn't hold up. I've never, ever been able to click on a Channel 13 article and ever watched anything. Yes, it was, Kate or Catherine. Yes, it was. Still, like
state executions are
all week long. She would listen to something and then immediately be like, "Wait, what was that?" Jesus, that's crazy, Catherine.
once again on hold.
Discretion doesn't matter to me. Right now, the only legal method of execution in Indiana is lethal injection. But other states have used the firing squad and nitrogen gas mask this year in executions. So if the lethal injection drugs are too expensive or hard to obtain or don't last long enough, the debate will be if Indiana should approve one of these other methods or get rid of the death penalty. But for now, it appears that we're back in a holding pattern.
Yeah. And out that $300,000 for that just went to waste.
Right.
All right, Rich. Thank you.
Well, hey, you know what, Catherine? It sounds like at the Tea Party event, you need to tell old governor that and say, like, you know, you guys could figure something out. You guys could get something figured out if he's not able to get that figured out in time, because if they can't get it for, let's go back and hear what that was again here. Oh, damn it. This stupid ass ad.
Executions are once again on hold in Indiana.
That's because the governor says the state has now used up its supply of lethal injection drugs, and he says he doesn't plan to buy more for
Absolutely,
now.
Cindy.
So Rich Knight joins us live in studio. He has been reporting on the death penalty in Indiana for several years now, and he joins us with what this means for the men now who are on death row here in the state of Indiana.
And the governor appears now to have started a city was jail and would
See. Oh, it looks like 50 M. It looks like, well, ivermectin doesn't kill you, but it looks like 50 mg/ml solution for injection. Is what it looks like there, Catherine. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it on the screen. 50 mg/ml. So, look, if you can get that for, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why you can get it for.
resume executions. Joseph Corcoran died by lethal injection in December, followed by Benjamin Ritchie last month. Governor Mike Braun revealed this week that Indiana apparently bought 3 doses of the lethal drug at $300,000 each. Braun said the drug has a 90-day shelf life and 1 dose has now expired. He says he's not buying more for now.
The whole question of capital punishment, I think there's going to be a lot of discussion on it. There are legislators that wonder if it's still relevant. I'm going to listen.
What's that matter to you, though, dude? What does that matter to you? Yeah, Jack, do you remember there was a guy they killed? I want to say Oklahoma killed him, maybe. And the way they actually took him out was by high grade fentanyl, and that's the way they took him out. So okay, but Catherine, so if you can get 20 mLs of pentobarbital, then that's 20, and that's for $10. Then I don't know, get 60 of it for $30. Yeah, I know that one's 50 milligrams, but what I'm saying, I mean, so what? Get 60 milligrams for $30 and save us $300,000 some dollars. This is pure insanity. And the thing that gets me here is he's like, there's a state legislators that want to change this and talk about whether or not we should even be doing this. And you know, look, like I'm fine. Go to the guys and ask them how they want to go. And they want to be ran over? They want us to chop their heads off? Do they want us to shoot them? Do they want to be hung? You know, what I absolutely love about this is Hoffman's statement saying lethal injection, firing squad, gas chamber, whatever. It doesn't matter to me, but we must have at least one option. Rock and roll. Let's get it on. Like, let's do it. You know, why it would be very easy to measure out the amount of powerful opioid narcotics anesthesia medication, it's on the tip of my tongue. What's it called? That Michael Jackson used to get from Dr. Conrad. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. Would be very easy to measure, weigh the guy. No, not ketamine. Ketamine don't do you like that. Propofol. Yep. Propofol. That's right. Dude. Put these people in a room, weigh them, put them on a bed, give them a mixture of propofol and fentanyl, carfentanil, and out they go. You know how easy that would be? How quick that would be? There's not a lot of suffering to it. Ask people that have witnessed overdose. Ask people that have witnessed someone thinking they were taking a oxy that they bought on the street. Instead, it was compressed fentanyl, and the person falls over. Very easy. Would not be hard to do this. And Jack, absolutely. Let them have a time of it. I'm fine with that. And be done with it, you know. And look, I want to be clear. We're talking about men. We're not talking about somebody that was just convicted last year. We're not talking about somebody that still has appeals. All of these men are well past all of their appeals. They've all ran out of this. Now, do your thing. Write to the Innocence Project. Send your shit to the Supreme Court. See if they're going to take it up. Write to the governor. But when all those phone calls don't come, put this right down. It's very easy. Take them into the room, give them the food they want. But, you know, I don't even like all that bullshit because, you know, like my question is, was Noah given a last meal, or some of these people that, you know, who've raped and murdered and killed? You know, I don't even know. I don't know that those people got last meals. So the whole idea of all that weirdness is fine. I like the idea of letting them speak to a religious figure if they're so inclined. And if these people are, you know, ready to rock and roll, let them go. I don't understand. And the thing of having... What the hell? Whoops. Channel 13 getting me. I was like, what the hell is that? They sure didn't give their victims mercy. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Give them... Channel 13. We were like rocking out. It shouldn't be this hard. I don't like the idea of these people being on death row for 15 years. 15 years and just sitting there. It's nonsense. I cannot even believe Braun's doing this. And yeah, I agree, Catherine. That's a really good point. This is something to take your eye off the ball. And to that, I say, let's just not let him do that. Let's not let that happen. Let's be mad at him for Senate Bill 1 and also say he's an idiot for what he's doing with the death penalty currently. Let's be mad at him for both of these things, and let's question him on those things. Let's question Micah. My question is, where's Micah? Yeah, Carrie. I'll buy the bullets for them, and there's a couple different ways you could do that. And I forget which state it was. It wasn't Texas. I don't know if it was Arkansas or Oklahoma. I said Oklahoma already for the one guy that died. That did
firing squad.
No, they're doing firing squad in a couple different places. No, but there was one state that what they did is they contacted retired state troopers or retired police officers and asked for volunteers for the firing squad. And they never had anyone ever turn them down. They always had more than enough people willing to do it. And
That's fantastic.
They do that thing where I don't know if it's they load it with, like, you have 5 different people and you load it with 4 actual bullets and 1 dud, or you load it with 1 bullet and 4 duds, whichever way. So you always have plausible deniability. No, it wasn't me killing him. But, there's different ways that people can do that if they want to have some kind of moral clarity or whatever, and be like, no, it wasn't me. There's ways I can have it. Set up a GoFundMe. Yeah. Let's see how much
There's a bunch of war vets who wouldn't mind.
Hell yeah, man. Listen, and there are people out there, and I guarantee you, like Tweety Bird's like, man, this is a freak show. What are you guys talking about? There are people that wouldn't like to do it. I get it. I understand that. I totally get it.
I would not.
What?
Want to be involved in.
My
husband probably would.
I need to think about it. I wouldn't just do anybody, but there are certain cases that I'd say, yeah, I sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. I would have no problem with. There are certain people I'd have no problem with. And I don't mean like enemies of mine. I mean like certain people who have been in prison, certain people who never even got the death penalty because they live in states where they don't even have it on the table, which is ridiculous. But there are certain crimes where I'd be like, yeah, I could.
I have never served on jury duty, Jack.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Tweety Bird. Did Josh serve on jury duty? Is that what you're asking me? I don't know if he ever did or not.
No, he's asking if you do, Josh.
If I would, yeah, but no.
I think there's double entendres there, but
yeah, right. No, not specifically that one. But we're getting there. There's to that type of crime. I wouldn't want to do it, but not against it. So, I don't know. I just think that this is stupid, and I expect to hear thoughts on Micah, from Micah on this. Of course, he will take the easy out. He won't say anything about this. Micah should have a lot to say about this, but will he? I don't know. I don't know. I would do it if they killed a family member of mine. Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Wouldn't that be a bitch to have a Chomo find you guilty of Chomo? Right? That's hilarious. But so we're gonna follow this. I'm very proud of Eric Hoffman. Eric Hoffman, of course, is the prosecutor from Delaware County. Kind of blows me away that he is the only one of the other 91 prosecutors in the state of Indiana didn't have the balls to step up and say, hey, something's wrong with this. Keep in mind, the prosecutor in Madison County, very close to us, is getting ready to fight a death penalty case. And They didn't send down a document saying that this was ridiculous. They didn't fire off a memo to the governor saying, "Nah, dude, you're broken on this. This is wrong. You're out of your element here, Donnie." That's ridiculous. So I applaud Eric Hoffman on this. Way to help get yourself reelected as prosecutor, and keep on keeping on. I think that he did a very good. I think he did a very, very, very good thing in doing this, and we will follow this argument as it goes on. And I'm very passionate about death penalty. I think that all possible channels need to be ran through. I think all possible appeals need to be given in a timely fashion. Death penalty shouldn't run out 5, 6, 8, 10, 15 years. That's insane. It should all happen within just a couple of years. But I'm very pro death. I'm pro death penalty to the very, very hardcore level. So that's where we stand on that. Okay. That then brings me to my last topic, which I didn't include because this is just kind of I didn't even think about it until afterwards, and kind of on this same topic here. Guess what happens tomorrow at 10:30? At 10:30 in the morning, I will walk into the Randolph County Courthouse, and I will watch the judge sentence Joshua to probably 12 to 15, maybe 20, somewhere around there. I forget exactly what it is. Years in prison. And then, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be pretty cut and dried. I talked to his ex-wife just a little bit ago, and the court has their victim impact statements. I believe that Danny is going to testify. The ex-wife's going to testify. And I believe that 1 or 2 of the children are going to testify. And so that will be tomorrow at 10:30. And I will post an update. We'll obviously have an update tomorrow evening about this, but and then shortly thereafter, I foresee Josh being sent off to I would like to see him go to like a Michigan City or a Pendleton. I'm willing to bet he's going to go to Newcastle. It's just going to be what it is. So he's probably not going to have a real hard time in prison, but he's still going to be there for a good number of years. So, yeah. Tomorrow's going to be a hard day for the victims, for Danny and her children, who none of them have had an easy time of this. So we're going to be there. Chris Bunner said she'll be there. Good. We'll see you there. It'll be interesting to see what this judge has to say, because basically the court will start. They will get some preliminary stuff out of the way. They will allow the victims to speak and the family to speak. I think they will then allow Joshua to speak, and then the judge will speak. And then once the judge speaks, that'll be that. You can always send Josh mail. Oh, yeah, we'll find out where he's going to go and let everybody know. They can send him. You guys can send him letters, commissary money, if you so choose. You know, kind of like someone would be like, well, why would you send him commissary money? I'd be like, well, you could send him like 13 pennies, kind of like giving somebody a bad tip. You give Josh just the tip. Yeah, Bradley, that is very true. I hate thinking about that because he's going to go in there and it's going to be an extension of Randolph County. He's going to be like in there with other molesters and pedophiles and other sexual deviants, and he's just going to be at home there. So it's going to be whatever. The trafficker has still not been caught. I'm willing to bet he's in Texas or back in Guatemala or wherever he came from. Honduras, I think. No information on Lewis. Lewis should be back. I don't understand what's going on. I talked to Art about this. Art said he doesn't know. He's not heard anything from Homeland Security. So I don't know what's going on. It's very, very bizarre that he's not been brought back, but it is what it is. What does Catherine say here? There's an email circulating from the Parks Board office manager Leah Ann Miller that tomorrow's meeting will be a listening session where people can speak and register their concerns officially, but there will be no answers or discussion. Well, yeah, of course, it'll be like a regular meeting. Just a regular old meeting, government meeting where nothing gets talked about, nothing's actually ever even taken care of, nobody knows anything, and it'll be what it will be. So that's that. Maybe the immigrant took yeah, he's probably the only one that did. He's like, yeah, send me home. Dude, can you imagine him? He like literally, he's like, man, I got a free ride. Have you guys all heard? We'll talk about this coming up here, maybe a little tomorrow. But did you all heard that Diego finally came out and said what happened with the India trip? Right? He finally came out and revealed that an unnamed business gave him the money to go over there, and he doesn't want to name that business because all of the liberals and the liberal media would just tear them apart, kind of like Elon has been done. I feel like he forgets he's in Indiana and there is no liberal media, and there are no, not many crazy liberals, some, but not enough to do anything. So that was a cop out. And then he says, I felt so bad about what was happening. I just went ahead and paid them back myself. So nothing to see here. So basically that press release that Micah said, oh, they're going to release a press release. It was a whole lot of nothing. It was a bunch of shit. So shame on Diego, shame on Micah. The whole thing was a bunch of bullshit. And, I mean, who cares? Totally insane what they continue to allow here. So a bunch of boyfriends, Bradley. Yeah, Jack, yes. What's that reference? Yes, you are correct. So, all right, that's going to do it for us tonight. You guys have been wonderful. As always, thank you. Please do your level best to give us at least one of your fingers, preferably your thumb, before you leave. If you could smash that, we would appreciate it. That would be fantastic. We will be back here tomorrow. Catherine, I didn't tell them what we're doing. I did not tell them what we're doing, so don't say anything. A couple people probably know, but we have a show tomorrow, and then we have, Catherine, we've got a big thing that we're doing on Friday, and then we'll do a show on Saturday to recap it. So I'm not talking about it, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And so that'll be on Friday. That'll be interesting. And yes, get those property tax assessments filed quickly. It's coming up upon us. So if you need help with that, let us know and we'll do what we can to help you. And other than that, is that where you're from, Jack, Florida? That does not surprise me one bit. So Jack is a Florida man. Jack is a Florida man. Holy shit. Oh, man. Where are you from, Jack? What state? What state are you from? What state are you from? He's not going to tell us. I don't know why he won't tell us. I don't think he's ever told me. Arkansas? That doesn't seem like someplace you would be from. That doesn't seem like someplace you would be from. Makes perfect sense. All right, you guys take care. God bless. Have a state of denial. Have a good evening, and we will see you all back here tomorrow. Let me try to get this thing off. What the hell is going on? Okay. Hey, oh yeah. Hey, do this thing because you're gonna want to know for Friday because I'll be giving up to date information. So follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on the other Facebook, and follow me everywhere except in person because that won't do you very good. All right. Goodbye.